everybody, I'm Brian from Orchids by Brian, and today I am at Krull-Smith Orchids in Apopka, Florida. It's May 2025 and there is so much in bloom. You're in for a treat. So with that, let's go and check out all the blooms they have here at Krull-Smith. All right, here we are at Krull-Smith in May 2025 and talk about a show of blooms at this place. All right, let's start here with these beautiful Cattleyas. Cattleya Canema first. These are beautiful. You're gonna see a lot of gorgeous flowers this time of year. And look at this. This is beautiful. Wow. Look at the flares. Perfect pink flares on just about every single petal. This is similar variety. Canema first has the more pronounced flares. You can see the differentiation between the different flowers. Sometimes when you have seedlings like this, you can have a real striking difference. I am definitely biased towards the flares. Wow, that is spectacular. Look at all these. Look at this. Definitely has more pink, purple color on the leaves. If you're looking for something less pink or less white heavy, these are beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful stuff at Krull-Smith in Apopka, Florida. And of course, May is bifoliate season for sure. Look at these. Wow. Let me see if I can pull the tag on this one. That is beautiful. Try to get the tag back in there. There it is. Okay. Oops. Come on. There we go. Sometimes the roots are so strong and sturdy. Wow, what a beautiful plant. Look at this. I am a sucker for a Bifoliate Cattleya. That's really nice. Alright, over here, of course, these look to be the massive but gorgeous Cattleya purpurata, or Laelia purpurata. Let's see if I can grab this tag here. There it is, Cattleya purpurata. They have such beautiful plants at Krull-Smith. Cattleyas, Phalaenopsis, Bulbophyllums. This is another fantastic nursery to buy specimen-sized flowers. Now I'm going to take a step over here. Look at these multifloral Paphiopedilums. Wow. Towering size Paph. Booth Sandlady Jim Croll by Paph Rothschildianum Krull-Smith FCC AOS. These flowers. Wow, you can see the profile of these. Oh my gosh. These are pretty large Paphiopedilums. The multiflorals can bloom sequentially, and they can bloom, and I should say sequentially, these are all already fully bloomed out, but the flowers can last a really long time. This is another example of that Summerlin bifoliate, but look at that, two 2 flower spikes, 3 flowers in total. Look at these, oh my gosh, they are gorgeous. Very, very pretty. Now, I'm going to step over on the other side here and check out some of the Vandas that they have on this. They have quite a few little Vandas. Here's a wonderful miniature Vanda. Vanda garryi. Wonderful species Vanda. 2 growths, and then look at this. Very petite flowers with the little dark coloration on the labellum. Makes it look like an eye. This is another Vanda garryi. Wow, look at these Vandas. Every color, and the fragrance is incredible. This is this yellow one's name here. Vanda denisoniana species. And then if you want a good fragrance, man, these are plants for you. Paxorn fragrance by Mimi Palmer. Mimi Palmer, of course, brings with it that delicious grape fragrance. Check out this red coloration. There's the name there. I'm going to try to zoom in. Right next to this delicate white. They have several of these Vandas in bloom. I love the blush yellow on those bottom 2 petals, and then the pink lip. Translate to every one of these flowers. Almost looks like a white Fal. Of course, fun fact, Vandas and Phalaenopsis are relatives. It's Vanda Muang Thong. And then this is a spectacular Vanda flower right here. Maroon speckling with that blush yellow bottom. This one has a very, very unique fragrance. That is wonderful. Here's the name of this guy. Really nice. Of course, they have a great selection of staghorn ferns if you're looking to add those to your collection, different species and hybrids. And of course, here's some dendrobiums blooming out right about now. Wonderful flowers. Dendrobium pericii. Species Dendrobium. Gotta love that spiky lip. Really nice. Now, here's some more Vanda relatives. I think this might be a Phalaenopsis, if I'm correct. Oh, this is the Sidiphenia. There we go. My bad. Like I said, Vandas are a new genera of orchid, but you can see, look at the flowers. Each plant can come with dozens of flowers. Tan, white color flowers with pink labellum. And these are on the way out, but wonderful white Vanda flowers here. This is another Sidiphenia mitrata, the Alba variety. And then check out this Rhynchostylis colestis, the blue. Really love that flower. And then behind it, this nice pale yellow, white color. This is another Rhynchostylis celestis, but this is the alba. And of course here, look at this. Another Paxorn fragrance crossed with Mimi Palmer, known for that fragrance. And here's an Ascocentrum ampulaceum. Dozens of flowers. Very, very cool. Here's the name again, like I said, Ascocentrum ampulaceum pink. I don't smell any fragrance at this time, not to say that they don't have any. Look at this. Wow. Those are beautiful. Vanda yellow butterfly. I really like that. Now, over here we have some Vandas that blew my mind when I saw them. This is a favorite of mine. If I were to own a Vanda, I would probably look to add this to my collection. I mean, look at those flowers. The fragrance is intense. I mean, it could almost give you a migraine if you're sensitive to fragrance. Vanda Thailand by Tessellata by Mimi Palmer. Of course, Tessellata, Mimi Palmer, it's bred to be fragrant. Now look at this. Incredible, incredible Dendrobium growing out of the pot. These yellow $50 size flowers. This, I think, is either an aggregatum or a Lindleyi, and I'm not sure I see a tag on it, but I know it is likely one of the two. But known for the dozens and dozens of flowers it has, and the cascading is just wonderful. Now, speaking of cascading flowers and dozens of them, look at this, not for sale, but what a display of white Fals on these trees. Wow. When you come and visit Krull-Smith, you are in for a show. Alright, now over here they have some of their Phalaenopsis. There are dozens of different color variations. I'm going to highlight a couple of them. These are beautiful. Hybrid Phalaenopsis, Novelty Fals. Nearly all of them have a delicious fragrance, which not many folks realize. Phalaenopsis have fragrance, so if you're looking to pick up a novelty Phalaenopsis, you should always smell it, because you never know what the fragrance is going to be like. Look at that with the stripes. Wow. Each fragrance is slightly different. Some have a lemony fragrance, some have a very floral, delicious tropical fragrance to them. Some fragrances are not particularly delicious at all. It depends on you, the keeper. But look at this. This is something you can pick up right now. Beautiful, beautiful flowers. Wow. Obviously blooms out very, very well. When this gets bigger and bigger, it's just going to bloom like crazy already. It has tons of flowers. Now over here we have even more blooms. You can see ranging from those dark, intense purple blues to almost a tiger-like pink and yellow flower you can see there. Now these are really beautiful here. Look at the sea of maroon and yellow flowers. Wow. Here's the name of this guy. Wonderful. This is also a wonderful flower. I don't think the camera's picking it up, but it almost looks like it has a yellow outline on a rusty red-brown color flower with a very fluorescent pollen cap there. This is Fal Jordan Winter Fort Lauderdale. Sib. And here you can see a couple of different varieties, how the flowers can range. Look at that. Wow, this is another Fal Jordan Winter Fort Lauderdale by Fal Jordan Winter AQ. And look at that. That one's beautiful too. Look at that flower. Beautiful Novelty Phalaenopsis from Krull-Smith available right now here in May 2025. If you see something you like, send them a message or an email, Instagram DM, Facebook message, and they can help you out with any of the plants that you see on the video here today. Okay. Now, let's keep going over here, back to the Vandas. We have some more Vandas and Dendrobiums to highlight. Here's another dark and moody Vanda flower. That's really nice. Vanda Rouge Rouge, number 3. And then back here we have another Dendrobium. Look at that. These are really nice. This is a Dendrobium Dendrobium Aphyllum, a species Dendrobium. Hopefully you can see that there. There we go. Really nice. Look at all those blooms. And then over here we have more wonderful yellow and white flowers. These are towering. Huge, huge flowers. I love the yellow bottom petals and the white. Very delicate. Very subtle and reserved. Really like that. This is the name here. Super nice. I mean, of course, we saw these, the Cytinfidania Mitrata alba. And this is the Vanda that Cassidy is picking up today. It is beautiful. It has a Laffy Taffy, banana Laffy Taffy type fragrance. There's the name. Lanolin fragrance. Wonderful flowers. And she also loved this guy. Wow. Definitely loves those Machara Delight type flowers, the dark blue. Here's the name of this cross. Omar Padron Indigo Blue Spots. And then lastly over here, look at that guy. One more time, we saw that a little earlier on. Very cool. All right. Now, over here we have some more Paphiopedilums. This is Delanatii. Really nice. I believe this is a hybrid Delanatii. This is the Ho Chi Minh Delanatii variation Vinicolor by Vietnamese. Look at that. Really, really nice. Dark colored lip. And Delanatii is one of the only fragrant Paphiopedilums that exist out there. There's only 2 or 3 of them. Another multifloral Paph. Joanna Burkhardt by Paph Mustache. And then behind it, although similar, look at that. What an impressive bloom. And I can see the name down there. Let's see if we can zoom in. It's a little bit covered up. Okay. Now we're going to come over this way. We have more Cattleya orchids to highlight. Here's those Cattleya schilleriana in full bloom. Like I said, it is definitely bifoliate season here at Krull-Smith. And they have their picking for schilleriana. Look at the flowers. This is the 4N schilleriana, so flowers are going to be bigger. They have a delicious fragrance as well. Here is a 2N variety, Cattleya measuriana, one of my favorites. I have the 4N measuriana. This is the 2N, so slightly smaller flower, and a great price. This guy is only $25. But all of which have a delicious fragrance. Look at this here. That is beautiful. This is Cattleya leopoldii by schilleriana. And then over here, the fragrance is overwhelming by these plants. Like unreal. This is schilleriana by Eclandii. And of course, here is more of them. This is Cattleya peccaviensis. Another wonderful orchid. Eclandii by schilleriana, primary hybrid. Known for these huge, wide lips. Look at that lip. Impressive. And then over here we have even more to highlight. Look at this guy. That is beautiful. Love this cerulean lip. The green flowers. They have a bunch in bud right now. You can pick up. This is a Leopoldii cerulea. This is a big plant, but if you have the space, boy, the flowers are totally worth it. Those are so nice. Now over here we have some Encyclia. These Encyclia have a candy fragrance. Almost smells like raspberries. Raspberry candy-like fragrance. Like raspberry Jolly Rancher. Encyclia Orchid Jungle Dale. An AMAOS award-winning plant. Very nice. Over here we have more Cattleyas. There's no shortage of Cattleya flowers here at Krull-Smith. This is RL Aristocrat. And several of those here, and then look at these. Oh my gosh, beautiful. More Canamiana. We saw earlier on, but just can't get over those blooms. They're so pretty. This is another Potnara Elaine Taylor Krull-Smith FCC AOS by Potnara Lebencre's Diamond Orchids. Dark red flower. This is a very compact growing plant. And this was one that I was tempted by. This is the Paphiopedilum. Look at that pink flower with those speckles. That is really nice. I do love the flowers. Laudagesi by Schilleriana. Available here at Krull-Smith. This is also a nice yellow flowered Cattleya, larger leaf Cattleya. The flower though is quite large. This is RLC Drew Simon Smith Croll NVAMAOS. And then of course if you love flares. My gosh. That's beautiful. Look at that. Of course, if you like these guys too. This is a fresh flower coming out. Definitely darker red with that speckled lip. There's some Brassavola in it. Richard Muller by MCP Briciana. And then over here we have even more speckled flowers. Look at the dark purple speckles on these. Those speckles touch everything on the plant. Hippodamia. And then over here, this is a beautiful flower as well. Really nice. This is Tenebrosa by Laelia Milleri. Love to see Milleri keeping these little guys very small. And then over here we have some more monsters. Oh my gosh, these are huge. This is Tigrina by Granulosa. Cattleya tigrina by Granulosa. They have many of them, also very fragrant flowers. Bifoliates are wonderful plants. One thing to keep in mind if you do decide to grow bifoliates, and one thing that I've learned a lot from the folks here at Krull-Smith, is that repotting can be a bit of a touchy subject with these guys. So if you're going to repot a bifoliate, wait for it to have about 1-ish inch roots coming from the new growth so that it doesn't experience as much stress and you have a higher likelihood of success. Repotting at the right time is important. And when in doubt, up-pot. Decide to up-pot, just put that pot in a bigger size pot and you can avoid the risk of the plant suffering or even worse, possibly dying from the stress of repotting at the wrong time or breaking roots. They're very sensitive to root breaking. So try to be careful. This is a beautiful Dendrobium. Looks like it might be a Farmeri or hybrid thereof. They're very pretty flowers. Even more compact Cattleyas over here. We're talking very compact. Look at this little guy. Very, very small. I did see the name of this one over here. Just didn't see the tag in that flower. This is, I think it's Chiefberry, maybe? If I recall correctly, but check out these flowers, really nice. We also have some Collagenes in bloom this time of year. These Collagenea flowers, I love Collagenes. They're really, really nice. Here's the name of this guy. Species Collagenea marmorata. But it's always exciting to see a great variety of compact growing orchids that are available here at Krull-Smith. They have just about every color you can imagine. You can see the Brassavola type flowers. Check that out. My gosh, that is just so nice. And here I think is another Pidiae. Yep, Ladagesi by Schilleriana. Again, if you see any flowers that you love and you want to purchase here at Krull-Smith, take a screenshot, send them an email, and I'm sure they'll be willing to help find the perfect plant for you. Look at that flower there. Nice pink. This is Beringiana by Labiata. Very different. Here's a Schomburgkia. And a beautiful one at that. Wow, and look at on the back, the flowers coming out purple, flaring on it. This is a Schomburgkia Oblopurpurea. Really, really nice. And look at this guy. Wow, this is cool. This has definitely got Epicatlia kaiguchi in it. And this is Tiny Magic. So, really, really nice. These are flares. Look at that. Wow. Really pretty. Look at that flower. I love the 3 white petals and then the 2 pink flares with speckles. Of course, over here we have just stunning orchid after stunning orchid. And these are $25. So you're not going to break the bank picking up some of these compact cats. Especially if you're like me, grow inside the home. You need some that conserve space, although I'll say I'm not doing a great job of that today. I'm picking up some sizable plants, but really excited to grow them. They even have Cattleya dowiana seedlings available, some not in bloom over here. Pacavia tenebrosa, Hardiana, Cattleya Mr. Bojangles, RLC Nacorn Casery, Delight, Taiwan Chief Wine Van Gogh, and the King of Taiwan. And then over on this side we have even more Brassavola, Adrian Hamilton. And here's some more Schilleriana by Clandii, aka Pacaviensis. We have some Encyclias about to bloom. Look at this big flower. This flower is humongous for this plant. Really huge flower. And this white is nice. This is a Alba violacea. It's definitely on its way out. Wow. Got to love all of these Cattleyas, the compact growers. Krull-Smith is one of my favorite places to stop in when I come and visit Central Florida. They're located only about 45 minutes from the Orlando airport, so if you have a long layover, snag an Uber or rent a car and come and visit. You'll go home with many, many flowers like this one. That's beautiful. Let's see the name of this guy. Wow. And look at the big flaring orange cat there. That's nice. This is Mark's Valentine, which is one I used to have in my collection, so I'm not surprised that I'm picking up on it. Really nice stuff. All right, now we're going to go over to the bulbos. Over here, lots of bulbophyllums in bloom. Bulbophyllum labii. Kathy's Gold is a classic bulbophyllum. Here's some Bulbophyllum dearei, which looks similar to labii, has more flattened lip, and of course bulbophyllums are known for that wobbly labellum. Check out the flowers on this. Probably 20 flowers on one stem. This is Bulbophyllum eberhardii. And this is a really nice flower too. For all my bulbophyllum lovers. This is Bulbophyllum facetum. And this is beautiful. Look at that flower. This guy, I think, is bicolor, maybe? Yes, Bulbophyllum bicolor. And here's Bulbophyllum orthosepalum. None in bloom at this time, but almost looks like a toucan beak. A flower on that. And here's Bulbophyllum frostii. The Dutch clog Bulbophyllum. And then they have Bulbophyllum ocellatum. Very tiny, tiny flowers. These are just about blooming. And this is a beautiful flower here. Look at this. Wow. That's really nice. Is this another lobii? This is this is Adorable Spider. Wow. Lots of those in bloom this time of year. Now over on this side we have a couple of Dendrobiums, not in bloom. Some are, like these, classics. Dendrobiums. Lots in bud and on the way. You can see, look at all these flowers that are about to come. And then, of course, Maxillaria tenifolia, coconut orchid. And they have a large specimen here of what it could become in time. Really nice. Oh my gosh. You can see just the large house plants that they have growing here too. Even have some cymbidiums. Warmth tolerant cymbidiums. None of them in bloom right now, but if you're looking for a cymbidium here in South Florida, it's worth a try to check it out here at Krull-Smith. And of course they have a great selection of catasetums. Some in bud. You can see there's or spike, I should say. There's a spike coming on this Catasetum tigrinum by Orchid Glade. But not much for flowers at this time. Here's some Zygopedilums as well. Nice. A lot of Krull-Smith's plants are award quality, so if you're looking to show your plants, show your orchids, Krull-Smith has plants that are ready to be shown as soon as they flower. Wonderful Fals. Here's some more of those novelty Fals like we saw earlier. There's so many of note. Look at that flower there. Definitely gravitating towards the purples and blues, Schilleriana, and more classic novelty Fals over here as well. Very, very nice. Okay, now I'm going to check out over here in their greenhouses where they have some blooms to highlight nearby, but just give you a look at what this amazing nursery looks like for those of you who might be watching this video, watching a video of Krull-Smith for the first time. This is where many of their Phalaenopsis grow. Some of these may be for sale. It's always best to ask the team at Krull-Smith. You see something you like. Some of these are for breeding. You can see some yellow Phalaenopsis back there. Like I said, these are a lot of their breeding stock plants, so many might not be for sale, but some may. Ask around and you may be surprised. You might be able to take home one of these stunning orchids. Keep an eye on their website as well. Look at these. Oh man. Just a sea of dark pink flowers. Wonderful Novelty Phalaenopsis. George Vasquez Cristel, an FCC AOS award-winning orchid. You can see all of the Paphiopedilums over here. It's growing season for many of these orchids, but look at these Fals. Definitely no shortage of blooms here. These are really nice. This is that Jordan Winter Fort Lauderdale. And of course, to continue down here, where we have more of those Paphiopedilums. Hopefully I said Paphiopedilums earlier, but look at the size of that flower. That is humongous. I can't reach over and see what the name is right now, but what a plant. That is awesome. A great nursery to visit, like I said, in Apopka. They also have several shows throughout the year where they bring in vendors. So if you're looking to visit Florida, you want to specifically buy some orchids, try to plan around their fall and spring sale. Their spring sale, as they said, is the bigger one, happens in April, so just missed it, but they have such beautiful stuff. Over here, I'm going to show you their other house where they have a couple blooms to highlight. It's amazing. Look at this Violacea. Semi-alba. Really, really pretty. And look at this. Oh my gosh. Clamshell orchid in full bloom. That is wild. You can see here some more Schillerianas that they've pulled. Great lip. Really spectacular lip. But the flowers here, you will most definitely not be disappointed by the blooms at Krull-Smith. A great variety of plants. All different types. Anything you can imagine. An orchid lover's paradise. Wow, look at the size of those Dendrobium blooms. Those are huge antelope Dendrobium flowers. And then of course over here is where they keep all of their Bulbophyllums. You can see some Bulbophyllum falcatum flowers. Those are pretty weird. I love these little blooms. They're very cool. Bulbophyllum are such unique orchids. You'd never guess they're an orchid for those who might not collect or look to collect. Orchids might not think of these guys as plants, as orchids, I should say. But the flowers are truly unique and special. And check out these. These are some Grammatophyllum orchids. Very cool flowers. Okay. Well, I think that's going to conclude this tour of Krull-Smith Orchids in May 2025. Hope you enjoyed this tour. we're going to transition over to a quick closing. All right, everybody, that's going to conclude my tour of Krull-Smith Orchids in May 2025. I hope you enjoyed this tour. This place is incredible. If you ever have the opportunity to visit Orlando, or you're looking to do some orchid shopping on vacation at Disney or Universal, definitely pay them a visit. You will be blown away by their facility and the plants that they have in bloom. So with that, thanks so much to the team at Krull-Smith for being so helpful and for letting me film this tour. And with that, I'm going to close it out. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Brian from Orchids by Brian, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.